Welcome back to Blog Access 101. I'm your host, Rob. This is episode 305. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify by searching Blog Access 101. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm here today with episode 305 with our special guest, two-time Olympian Joella Lloyd. How you doing, Joella?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Appreciate you coming on. Just start off for the listeners who might meet you for the first time. Introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you've been up to these last few years professionally as well as on a collegiate level.
So, my name is Joella Lloyd. I am an Antiguan sprinter. I was born and raised in Antigua, and I came up to college when I was 16. Went to the University of Tennessee first and then transferred to Florida State. Last year was my last year competing collegiately. And during my collegiate career, I was able to go to the Olympics twice to represent my country. And now I'm making that transition from collegiate track and field to professional track and field. And I'm very excited because these past couple weeks, well, not these past couple months have been really hard with training, but I'm ready to see like the work I've been putting in.
Oh yeah, that ramp up was always good, but he's like, all right, after a while, practices start getting a little repetitive. It's like, all right, I'm trying to see if how well these practices paying off at the first meet. Because when does outdoor season start for you guys?
This weekend.
Okay, I know you're definitely excited and probably a little nervous at the same time, but good nervous.
Yes. Like my emotions are all over because before I was just like, I'm ready to compete. Now that we're coming a little closer to the time, I'm more nervous just because I haven't raced in a while since June last year. I'm both.
I get it. No, I know you'll be ready and do well. Like you talked about earlier, you had the chance to compete at the University of Tennessee as well as at Florida State. How did those experiences shape you for both on and off the track?
I would say the University of Tennessee, that was like a grounding experience because that was the first time I've been in this structure where it's like you get up, you go to weights, like everything is kind of provided for you in one area. And having such a competitive training group, being around like-minded people every day in and out, that was a good first experience to, making track and feel like a lifetime kind of thing, competing professionally. And then Florida State was also a really good experience where I learned how to do certain things better, like mechanically, like pushing and learning how to run the 100, run the 200s. I felt like both experiences have given me a lot of knowledge. Tennessee also helped me with recovery and what I need to do with like sleeping, nutrition. So I feel like both experiences have helped me to try and make this transition into doing it professionally.
Yeah, I feel like those recovery is definitely the crucial thing because you can have great practices, but if your body don't recover right, especially when you practicing three, 4 times a week, and then add on top of that the meet. Sometimes even the best of the athletes, your body breaks down after a while. You're doing about I don't know what your workouts like, but going up at 5 a.m. weight training, and then later in the day you're doing running sprints and things of that nature, and your body just gets that wear and tear after a while. So I definitely push on that. I think I also heard you talk about like another podcast where I think it was what Coach Ken he was originally at University of Tennessee. I think he trained with him now. But he had brought you was the first one to recruit you, and first time you left Antigua to come to the States.
Yeah.
So talk about that experience, leaving in Antigua and coming to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Was not expecting how cold it was going to be. Like I've been living in 70, 80-degree weather, 90-degree weather all my life. And then coming now to Tennessee in December, I didn't have much of any jacket. Like this is kind of what I wore. And
Oh
I was,
yeah, I know you.
but Coach Ken definitely made this experience manageable. Like he was always like someone I could always reach out to. He made sure like he's like a type A person where he likes to plan things. So he would plan things out for us and like all I had to do was kind of like follow the plan. And he's definitely somebody that I could confide in if anything was going wrong. Cause like with my grades as well, like making that transition from going to school back at home to here. I wanted all A's, but college is a little hard to get all A's, like
Yeah.
especially the first semester. So like I remember I was crying and stuff to him. He's just like, it's okay, C's get degrees and kind of helped me
That's right.
de-escalate my spiral. So I felt like, he was a great coach for me to make that first transition from being at home to collegiate.
Oh, that's good. I always got to have that good, a good mentor as well as coach that can find you just not pouring you not just on the track field, but also off the field as well. That's definitely special. So you hold national records for Antigua in the 60 meters, 100 meters, and 200 meters, which is huge. What does that mean to you, especially representing your country at that level?
It means a lot to me. It shows me that I have been consistent over the years because like I have been competing for Antigua since I've been at least 10.
Oh wow.
So just keeping that tradition of just having a high standard for myself, the records show that I continue to uphold that high standard for myself with training, representing my country, making sure that whatever I'm saying, it's a good representation of Antigua. I am really proud of my records.
That's definitely big because you got that representation now. You might have young little girls from Antigua going, "Oh, I want to be her. I could be the next Joella Lloyd," or of course be themselves as well. But to give them that opportunity to say, "Oh, if she did it, I can do it too." So that's definitely big for the younger generation to see. I saw that you had got your degree in psychology. How does that play into you staying calm, being locked in, and mentally ready for big races?
I'd say because I did psychology for my undergrad and then sports psychology for my graduate. And that's exactly why I did sports psychology because I wanted to have a little, you know, inside scoop to how to relax and how to perform when it matters most. And I have been taking like some of my notes still from when I was studying that like visualizations, doing things repetitively. So like when it's game day, that it just feels like I've been here before, I've done this before so many times. So it's just for me to just relax and do what I'm used to doing. So I feel like that really helped me and understanding like the psychology of injuries and how, because I've had injuries over the past and how to make sure that I get back into the sport and not have like the injury in my mind the whole time. So that is also well too. And motivation, trying to find like the right balance of intrinsic and external motivation, like wanting to be competitive, but also thinking like, okay, I need to better what I have been doing, like making sure I'm focusing on my lane. So it's been helpful.
That's definitely big because a lot of time, not like of course fans they see it, but they haven't played the sport, they really don't understand it. A lot of times, like particularly in track, you get those hamstring injuries that linger, and then you could body be 100%, but you're like scared to really hit that next burst because you're like, oh, I don't want to pull a hamstring again. So yeah, I definitely see how that sports psychology paid off for you. Which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know if you read this book before. It's like called like Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy. It's a good psychology book, like sports psychology. Then Carol Dweck, she does like growth and fixed mindset. But yeah, those are pretty cool books you might want to look at if you get some time. But as a two-time Olympian, what does your training and preparation look like loading up as so big events such as the Olympics?
I would say like they always emphasize like that fall training, making sure you have a good base like in the fall. And then, as the season goes by indoors, you kind of fixate on certain things for indoors to make sure you peak around nationals and world indoors. So I would say like the biggest thing I've always heard about is fall, like making sure I do those hard workouts, those times when you feel like you don't want to keep going, because then now when you get down to the Olympics, you can taper off and you can start to see, okay, the body has adjusted really well from all that months of putting on that load. And I've also been very technical with like my start, just trying to get in as much block starts in the weeks leading up to, and making sure that I'm doing the right things. Like you can practice, do a lot of reps, but making sure that you're doing the correct thing every single time.
Yeah, that repetition and like sometimes they say slow progress better than no progress, and a lot of people are like like all right, it's getting repetitive, it gets boring, but that boring and repetitive workouts pays off in the long run. So I definitely understand that, and that's pretty cool. I never knew about like fall is the biggest preparation for the for the season leading up to the Olympics. So that's pretty cool. But if, for athletes that are currently making the jump from the college professional level as you're doing this year, what advice would you give them?
Hmm. See, it's kind of hard because I haven't started the season yet. But what has helped me, I would say, is being around people who have the same goals as you. So it's easy to do hard workouts and do what you need to do, like have recovery stuff when everybody's going to the recovery area right after practice. It's good to have good habits when everybody around you is doing that too. So I would say put yourself in a good environment where these people have the same goals as you, so they're doing the same things that you should be doing to be successful.
No, that's definitely two main critical component, not just in like sports, but in general, like having those good habits. Because a lot of times, you might have been thinking it's the right thing you're doing at the collegiate level, but now you're going to the next level. You gonna have to make some changes to be prepared for the next level. Um, and also being around people like-minded, want to achieve the same goals, get better, and eventually get on that podium for the Olympics and then World Championships. Also, what are some of your goals for this upcoming season?
For this upcoming season, I really want to go sub 11. Like
There you go.
trying and trying for years, but it's been like 11:06,
Yeah,
11:01. Like it's been right there. So I really do want to break that barrier. And I also want to go to Commonwealth and be a finalist at Commonwealth, hopefully the podium at Commonwealth Games, since that's like a major games for us in the Caribbean, and improve my world ranking, get as close to the top as possible.
sure you'll get there. Putting all that training in Auburn, getting in. I'm sure you'll be ready. So yeah, before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to talk about that we already didn't talk about? And then also, where can people find you on social media?
I could say I have no idea. Other than maybe favorite track memory. I can share my favorite track memory.
Okay,
I
good.
would say it was my SEC title with the indoor 60. It was a while back, but that is the most confident I've ever felt in a race. Like I went to the line and I looked down to the finish line. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get down to that line first. And I truly believed it. And I feel like that was the most confident I've ever felt in college. And
Mhm.
it really showed because I ended up winning. So it was good to like relive that memory just now.
Let us know. So how are you going to translate that into this season, then next upcoming season after that?
Yes, yes.
No, I'm saying like so. I said now you just got to focus on how you're going to translate that from that 60-meter race and put that into your preparation for this year and then upcoming years.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little different now. Like I'm running for myself and my country versus a school.
Mm.
It's a little less pressure because then you have your teammates, you have so much people in the school that's really heavily invested. And it's just right now it's me and my country. So I feel like it's still a very high investment for my country, but it just feels like a little less pressure. Like I'm just going out there and I'm doing what I love.
That's always good. Once you do what you love, even the hard work and the stress, it feels a little bit easier because especially because a lot of people do something that they don't really like, and it's like, I got to get out of this. So I'm glad you're doing something that you love, though. But also, where can people find you on social media?
Yes, they can find me on Instagram, Joella-Lloyd 268. I'm on Facebook a lot, Joella Lloyd. I'm also on TikTok. Um, I
Love
think it's
TikTok.
the I think it's the same hashtag as Instagram, Joella
Okay,
268. Yeah, I try to make everything
the same.
as
Yeah.
yeah for
So
people to find.
everybody just need to like find or put a name and find it. Yeah, that's always good though, 'cause especially with professional athlete. And people are like, oh, but she's this one, then they go to another kind of like, oh, she's this, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, try to be Joella Lloyd at everyone.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.